Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jill Osborne. I am the president and founder of the Interstitial Cystitis Network, and it is time for another drop-in support group meeting for patients struggling with interstitial cystitis, bladder pain, chronic pelvic pain, pelvic floor dysfunction, irritable bowel syndrome. You name it. If you've got pelvic floor dysfunction, we are going to talk about it today. We are simulcasting on Facebook and YouTube, and this is one of my unscheduled drop-in meetings where I'm just trying to figure out who's around and if anybody needs help. And our goal right now, it's 4 o'clock Pacific time. And so I'm thinking that we're going to be catching people on the East Coast coming back from work. So come on in. I've got a lot of things to talk about today, a lot of really exciting things. Hello, Facebook. It looks like we've got quite a few people coming out on Facebook right now. Going to give it a few minutes. I want to explain here. My purpose in doing support group meetings is to empower you and to inform you. I want you so knowledgeable about IC that no one can mess with you. We are long past the days where any patient should be told that IC is all in their head. It could not be farther from the truth. And in fact, it might surprise you to know that we don't even think of IC as a bladder disease anymore. We don't, especially we don't think of it as an incurable bladder disease anymore. We think of it more as a pelvic trauma or injury. And why do I say that? Number one, because we know that structures outside the bladder are usually involved in most patients. Pelvic floor muscles. We got patients who have irritable bowel, some who have vulvodynia, some who have prostatitis. So it is really crystal clear that for many patients, it is pelvic wide as compared to bladder. But the other thing that we know is that a one treatment fits all approach simply does not work. Why? Because there's tremendous diversity in the IC patient population. I'm telling you, if you ever go to a support group meeting, one of the things that you're going to see really quickly is how different we are. So there are some patients who have bladders that look like bloody hamburger, covered with bleeding lesions. Other patients who have completely normal bladders, both of us diagnosed with IC, yet clearly we could not be the same patient. No doubt about it. You got some patients with terrible pain, others with no pain, both diagnosed with IC, yet clearly they're very different. We've got some patients who have related conditions like myself, vulvodynia, irritable bowel, all that sort of stuff. Other patients who have absolutely no related conditions. Both could be diagnosed with IC, yet clearly they're very different. And so my goal in these meetings is to teach you about those differences, to teach you about these variations, or as we call IC subtypes, so that you can find the right subtype for you and therefore find the right treatments for you, the right flare tips for you, the right pain management tips for you. All righty. So feel free to ask any questions that you'd like in the comment area. I would be more than happy to take any questions that you have. However, I do have a lot to talk about today too, so we're just going to wait a little bit more. If you're on Facebook. By the way, our support group meetings have been now viewed 75,000 times this summer by IC patients and family members. I'm so excited about that. That's incredible. But if you're on Facebook right now watching this, could you please let your friends know in your IC support groups that we have gone live, and I'm going to be talking about a new pain book that is incredible with lots of new tips on how to reduce pain. We're going to be voting today, my friends, on the poster contest for IC Awareness Month. I've got all the posters. I'm going to show them to you, and I'm going to ask you which ones you think are the best. And we're also going to talk about the Elmeron eye research because something very important happened today. And in fact, let's go ahead and start with that first. So if you saw a month ago, we were the first patient group to discuss new research that has linked Elmeron with permanent eye disease. And I have the study, right here. So basically what happened is a group of IC patients were referred to eye researchers at the Emory Eye Institute. Hello, Bobby. Very nice to see you. Hope to see you later tonight. Alrighty, see ya. All right, so here we have a group of IC patients who were all referred to rare eye disease specialists at the Emory Eye Institute. Okay. And, let me just make sure I didn't screw something up here. For those of you on Facebook, can you type comments? Because I'm not seeing comments come through. Oh, wait a second. Okay, that's weird. Why am I not seeing your comments? That is odd. Can you guys can you see the comments? Can you guys just try to write a comment right now on Facebook and tell me if you can see them? Can you see the comments? Because I cannot see the comments. If you're on Facebook and I'm a friend of yours, could you please friend me? Could you please send me a message and tell me if you can see these comments? Because for some reason, now I'm going into settings, going into interactive, settings, cross-posting. It looks fine. Post, it looks fine. Really? Are you kidding me? How am I going to take your questions if I cannot see your questions? Oh, you gotta love technology, my friends. You have to love technology. Dale, can you not see them on Facebook either? Okay, you can see them now. So could you see me writing testing? Okay, I see 31 comments, but it's actually not letting me see your comments. Holy moly, this is not helpful at all. Dale, you cannot see them. You cannot see me. Okay. So guys, this is what we're going to do. For everybody on Facebook, do me a favor. I'm going to stop the Facebook feed and I'm going to try to restart it. Okay. Well, you know what? Before I do that, tell you what, let me get through my lecture part first and then we'll restart the feed. Okay. But you know what? Hold on. Let me try something else first. Hold on. Let me open up our Facebook page in another browser, and maybe I'll be able to see them in another browser. Hold on a sec. Give me a momento. Oh, yes. Okay, wait, you can see them. Okay. So weird. What on earth? I can see 5 of them. So it looks like something Facebook's being weird. It's being very, very weird. I see Teresa said hello. Donna has said seeing your comments. Renee, you can see them. I don't know why. I'm seeing 5 on a different browser. Let me try one other thing here. Let's see. How can I do this? I've got so much to say to you. I hate to restart it, but I also really, really want to take your questions. So, I hate to you're gonna hear this, but all right. Let's see comments. Okay, tell you what. Hopefully, I'll be able to see them. The last comment I see is from Aaron Glidden. Well, now, isn't this a pickle? All right. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go through my discussion first, and then we're going to restart it, and we'll go ahead and take your questions, all right? But it's too important, and I've already said a lot of things. So if you can bear with me, let me get through the content here first. All right. Okay, so here's the deal. The Society of Urogynecology and Female Urology today issued a warning about Elmeron. They are the first medical association to do this. I got it in my email today. They are the ones, they are referring, in fact, to this paper that we discussed a month ago. This is the first research study released by the Emory Eye Institute where they believe that they have found a new disease a new eye disease, macular disease, related to the use of long-term Elmiron. Of course, Elmiron is the only FDA-approved therapy for interstitial cystitis. Elmiron, thus, has been used by tens of thousands of patients over the years. I was working with a patient today, as a matter of fact, who was just noticing when I asked her about her vision, she said it had gotten substantially worse, and she'd been taking it for many years now. So I'm very happy to see that we're now seeing medical associations asking urologists to ask patients taking Elmiron to see if their eyesight is changing. If your eyesight has changed, they want you to go have your eye exam to make sure that you do not have something called pigmentary maculopathy. Basically, what's happening, they think what's happening is that a toxic metabolite of Elmiron is accumulating on the retina and damaging the retina. Now, I've talked about this in several other of our lectures, I've gone over kind of the data in depth. I will tell, so just to kind of give you the context here, a group of IC patients we referred to Emory University, the Emory Eye Center. At the center, their job is to try to diagnose rare diseases. What they found with these patients is that there was no heredity connection, there was no pathological connection, and they ultimately had to conclude that there was one common factor among this group of 38 patients with eye issues, and that is they all use long-term Pentosan. What they did in May is they published something called a case series. A case series is, a case study is when a doctor shares about one patient. A case series is when a doctor or research study shares data on a small group of patients. In this case, they took 6 out of the 38 patients and shared their data. And what they did indeed find is that these patients often had blurry vision. They had difficulty adapting to low light. They had difficulty reading. And over time, what they were able to document is that something was changing their retina. And I'm going to give you a picture here. This actually is patient number 4. I have actually talked with patient number 4, and we will be featuring her in our fall magazine. This is early on to the use of Elmiron. This is later, and this was one of her last eye studies before she stopped using the Elmiron. This is what they're seeing is changes in the cells of the retina over time. Now, of course, additional research is desperately needed. Emory is continuing their research. We also launched our own survey. We have about 700 patients now who have taken that survey. And of the patients who took that survey, 91% of the patients of those 700 are using Elmiron. 53% of those were noting differences in their vision. Oops, excuse me, my cushion's falling off. So this is, I think this is going to be much bigger than we had hoped, but data is coming. And again, I was very happy to see SUFU, the Society of Urodynamics and Female Urology, send out today an informational warning or informational letter to gynecologists and urologists about that. Alrighty. So again, if you're taking long-term Elmiron and you're noticing any change in your vision, come to our website, read the blog. I have the links to all of the studies. I want you to print it out. I want you to give it to your ophthalmologist. If you're noticing vision changes and you have not been to the ophthalmologist, you need to make an appointment to have your eyes checked. And please note that the Emory eye doctors were very clear in their initial warning that if you're taking Elmiron and have any sign of eye disease, you should stop using Elmiron. And that is indeed what they said in the warning today through SUFU, and that is what I said in my blog also. That began this entire journey for me, sharing information about this, okay? All right. Let me just check one setting here on this. I'm just curious if I accidentally, I don't know how I would do it. Could I have accidentally muted myself? Muted my, very odd. I'm still trying to grab your comments here. I see 52 comments. Let's see if it will show them to me. Please show them to me. Oh, computer gods. Okay, it's showing them to me 4 pages at a time, and I have to reload. I mean, 4 comments at a time, and I have to reload the page to see them. Mary Beth says that's what she has. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So that's number 1. So you can no longer say it's a patient group issuing the warning. It is now a medical group issuing a warning. The second thing that I want to ask your help for is, in fact, our poster contest, because I am having trouble picking a winner. Normally we have a committee that helps pick our posters and our meme contest winners for IC Awareness Month. But it's just been crazy. And in fact, unfortunately, with all this the eye stuff that I had to do in September, I just could not convene a committee. So I'm going to ask you to vote and tell me who you think should win the poster contest. And you will notice on our Facebook page, since most of our viewers are on Facebook, right below this live area, we have I have a survey, and you can vote for 3. Alrighty, so I'm going to hold them up right now. Let's talk about them and see what you think. Darn computers. I'm telling you, technology is not always our friend. All right, poster number 1. Now remember, our theme for our 2018 IC Awareness Month was, again, compassionate pain care, but with respect. Because what we're finding is IC patients who go to pain doctors are generally being treated with disrespect. They're often being told it's all in your head and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, hello, I'm sorry. Just because you don't know that IC is a real disease, just because you don't know that the bladder can cause severe pain, does not mean and should not give you permission to disrespect patients. So I'm going to show you the posters right now. So here's our first entry. Please remember, I am a patient. I am a human being. I would rather not be here. I deserve compassion. Please respect me. Okay, so that's entry number 1. Entry number 2 is very interesting. I love you guys. You're so freaking creative. It's amazing. So this one is, life with IC is like a maze, easily lost and hard to find. And in her maze, she's got pain relief, she's got diagnosis, she's got treatment, and she's got, what's this last one? Diet, right? So this actually, and this has all the information. So this would work well as our poster for next year. Okay. Here's another one. This one really focused on the concept of respect. But this IC patient was really focusing on self-respect, because when you have IC, it's very easy to doubt yourself. Very, very easy to doubt yourself. So with this poster, she's reminding us all to tell your truth, to know you're valuable, to follow your passions, trust your gut, set boundaries, be compassionate, ask for help, and have courage every day. The basic respects that we need. All right. So that's entry 3. Entry 4 is an original piece. It's an original watercolor that was entered. And I like the concept here. So it says interstitial cystitis can be isolating, life-altering, and can set a sufferer adrift. We are here to help. Join us for IC Awareness Month and help set a course for the cure. Right? I love original art. We had some amazing original art submitted by IC patients over the years. Okay, here's entry 5. Respect. Treating people with kindness. All patients deserve respectful care. This is strong. This is bold. This could work. So again, we're picking our poster for next year. Okay, here's poster 6. You are never alone. Together we stand. ICAwareness.org. So what do you think of this one? Cool? I like the symbolism. Because seriously, people, you're not alone. I don't want you ever think, when I was diagnosed, I thought I was the only patient in California. Imagine my surprise, 3 months later, I found 300 people literally in my area who were the first members of my support group. You are not alone. All right, here is entry number 7. This one's cool. Support for IC patients should not be out of reach. And I love the concept of having the toilet paper really far away from the toilet. It's time to talk about it. Okay. Entry number 8. IC Awareness Month. Who will stand by us? Who will fight for us? Who will find a cure for us? Okay. Entry number 9 is a very poignant one because it's focusing on a cure. It says there will be a cure in, and then it's got a whole bunch of years where the cure didn't happen, and now we're entering 2019. It's time to talk about it. So that's pretty powerful. Entry number 10 is fearless. Fearless. It's reminding IC patients to be bold. Seek your truth. Seek medical care. Ask for help when you need it. And our last entry is IC Hope. Dare to be different. We're trying to help you put your heart and your life back together. Alrighty? So let's go through these one more time. And you can vote for them in our survey. Number 1, please remember I'm a patient. I would rather not be here. I deserve compassion. Number 2, life is like a maze. Number 3, the respect basics. Number 4, set a course for the cure. Number 5, treating people with kindness. Number 6, you are never alone. Together we stand. Number 7, support for should not be out of reach. Very clever concept. Number 8, who will stand by us? Who will fight for us? Number 9, there will be a cure in what year? Number 10, fearless. And number 11, hope. Dare to be different. So if you, my friends, could, on our Facebook page, go down to that survey and you can pick 3. Give us your top 3. And we'll just see what happens. All righty. Who knows? Okay, so just so you know, for people who came in, I'm having a little issue with technology on Facebook. I cannot see your questions. If you are a friend of mine, you can please, you can whisper to me and I will try to answer your, but I'm just going to go through the lecture series first, then we're going to restart Facebook and see if we can fix that again. Alrighty, so here is the important topic of the day, and that is pain care. So on Sunday during our regular support group meeting, I reviewed a brand new book called When It Hurts Down There. I read this last Saturday and it literally knocked my socks off. Literally, I've already been in touch with the doctor. We're going to interview her in our magazine. We're going to sell it through the IC Network website, but you can buy it right now also through her website. Very inexpensive. So Angie Storr is a pelvic pain specialist in Texas, and she has written this very short, it's a pretty short book, but man, it just packs a punch. It is so, so good. So in it, she talks about IC. She talks about all chronic pelvic pain disorders, IC, IBS, vulvodynia, endometriosis, pelvic floor dysfunction, but she's talking about it within the context of pain. And she has as 15 things that you can do. And so, for example, she talks about, let's see here, hold on a sec. Let's see here. She talks about diet. She really goes into the IC diet, the IBS diet, the vulvodynia diet. She even has a cookbook included with it. Or actually, I think that you can buy separately that has recipes that include all of those diets. And she talks about some of the basics. But here's where she really shines. And that is, how do we interfere pain? How do we interfere with the pain message? And I've never seen anybody write it the way she wrote it. And I really think it's going to help all of us as we deal with what can be chronic pelvic pain. So think about it this way. Oh, Lisa is on YouTube. She says she read it last night. And she says it does pack a punch. Very, very cool. Thank you, Thomas. It's very nice to see you. Again, guys, on Facebook, I'm sorry it's not showing me your comments, but we will do this in a different way. Okay, so here's the heart and soul of what she says. To control pain, you have to know how the pain message is sent. So let's say you hurt your foot. Let's say you step on a nail, right? So you step on the nail, and obviously you're going to go ouch very quickly. But how does that happen? The nerve in your foot moves that pain message up your leg to your spinal cord. And then it works its way in a fraction of a second to your lower brain, and then it goes to your midbrain, and then it goes to your upper brain. And these are 3 different areas that you can use to potentially block that pain. Okay. And, think about, I remember years ago, somebody said, do mindfulness or do cognitive behavioral therapy. And my reaction to that was, oh, hell, don't tell me that my IC's all in my head. Seriously, that's not going to go in. That's not going to go far with me at all. That was about 10 years ago. Today, though, it makes a little bit more sense based upon how you understand it. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand is something called spinal gate theory. So as it reaches your brain, that pain message goes through your lower brain. And it is your lower brain's job to send through only the most important pain message, because our body is wired with tens of thousands of pain messages. They're all, I'm sitting here, my left butt cheek is hurting, it's vibrating. My jaw might be a little bit tight. My arm might be a little bit sore, yada, yada, yada. We can be absolutely overwhelmed by pain messages, but we're not. Why? Because the lower brain does something called gating. It only sends the most important pain message through. So when you stepped on that nail, that was your most important message. Believe me, it flew right through the lower brain up into the upper brain. And that's why you started hopping around and pulling it out. Okay. But let's say 2 days later, you break your finger. So your foot's throbbing, but you also break your finger. So which pain message gets through? Not the foot. It's the throbbing thing. It's the breaking your finger. So one of the first things that you can do to distract your brain from pain is distraction. So this is so interesting. I read a book years ago called Pain, the Gift That Nobody Wants. It was written by a doctor who was trying to understand more about the impact of pain on the human body and on people. And he was touring leper centers in India. And as he was walking into the door, he almost always saw people who were sitting there and they were slapping. They were just slapping their leg, right? Now, remember, leprosy is very painful because it's a bacterial infection that literally eats away fingers and structures and noses and all sorts of stuff like that. Leprosy is painful. So what he noticed is that people outside were doing that. They were slapping their leg. And he'd ask the doctor, why? Why are people slapping their legs like that? And the doctor taught him about spinal gate theory. And that is that when you do this, it may be that your brain stops letting your bladder pain or your pelvic pain through. And that's kind of what a TENS unit does sometimes. When you put a TENS unit on your body or on your leg, those constant nerve pulses actually end up kind of confusing that gating center, and you stop sensing the bladder pain and you start sensing this pain. And so after I read that book, that's what I started doing, especially if I was driving, because driving can be so painful with IC. That's what I was doing as I was driving, is I just started slapping my leg. And oh my God, it works. It can work. because we're working with the body. That's how the body is designed. Okay. So first up, lower brain. How do we work it? We try distraction. The other thing about the lower brain that's so interesting, it controls your heart rate. It controls your blood pressure. It is very, very involved in fear and anxiety. So when you do slow, deep breathing, you're calming things down. So if you ever take a pain class, one of the things that they teach you is meditation and stuff like that. And again, mindfulness, those concepts, being in the moment, deep breathing, focusing on that. That's actually also why that can help reduce pain, because when you do deep breathing, you are calming the lower brain down, which is, again, you're reducing the likelihood that it's going to send a lot of chronic pain messages through. Okay. So it goes from the low brain. The low brain says, hell, that's important, sends it to the midbrain, to the middle section. So what the hell does the midbrain do? The midbrain establishes context. So it's the midbrain that will tell your body, is this good pain, like the best sex of your life pain, that might be just a tiny bit painful, or is this, oh my God, I'm being bitten by a bear? And so the midbrain is very, very involved in creating contextual relationships. And so when we're trying to disrupt that pain message here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep, and I'm just looking at my notes here. In fact, let me just move my notes over here. That'll be helpful. So with the midbrain, the way we stop the pain message at that midbrain is by keeping your brain busy. Now we know with the midbrain that if you're feeling lonely, if you're anxious, if you're sad, if you're afraid, that activates more pain nerves. However, if you are focusing on happier thoughts, positive thinking, that is associated with less pain. A good example is daydreaming. When you daydream, so let's just say, getting back to sex, hey, we'll talk about anything here. We've all had those wonderful dreams where we have the best sex of our life dreams, or, if we're in the middle of the day and whatever, we start daydreaming. And sometimes if it's about our partner, it's like a really happy sex dream. When you're daydreaming, your body doesn't know that it's not happening. If you're daydreaming about food, you salivate. If you're daydreaming about sex, you get aroused. And that shows just how good daydreaming is at interfering with body processes and influencing body processes. And so what she argues in this book is that if you are focusing on good memories, then you are reducing the pain processing more. You're keeping your brain busy. You're keeping your midbrain busy with good, happy thoughts. And so that's, again, the power of positive thinking, using affirmations. My favorite affirmation is, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, or every day in every way, my life is getting better and better and better, or be bold and mighty forces shall come to thy aid. And that's why positive thinking really helps, because it influences the midbrain. But she also talks about something called learned fear. And I am the perfect freaking example of learned fear, because when my IC started, driving in a car was agonizing, absolutely agonizing. I mean, hit every speed bump, I'd scream my first year, because I had such a profoundly damaged bladder wall. And so yeah, the first year driving hurt, but you know what? I got better. I did get better. I can drive in a car now. You're really no problem. However, I have learned fear. I have been associating pain with a car for 25 years. And when you associate it, you anticipate it. And when you anticipate it, it's more likely that you're going to make it happen. And there's I mean, she explains it in here. She's doing a hell of a lot better job of explaining it than me. But she talks about how important it is to recognize learned fear and then counteract that again with positive thinking. And so in my case, what I say is, oh my God, Jill, seriously, you haven't had pain driving for 10 years. There's no freaking reason for you to say no to driving up to Tahoe, right? And trying to defeat that learned fear that often happens at the midbrain. Okay, and then once the pain message goes from the low brain to the midbrain, it then goes to the upper brain. And it's the upper brain that actually localizes the pain and tells you to pull your hand back. But again, she argues something really here. You ever wonder why it's so difficult to describe where your pain is? She gives you a perfect example here. Let me find it. It's really about the massive amount of nerves that we have in our pelvis. So this is her picture of the nerves in the pelvis. So all those yellow lines. But look at that. All the yellow lines end up basically between L4 and L5 in your spinal cord. So here we've got lots of diverse nerves, but they all end up in one spot. And so when that pain sensation gets to your brain, it's kind of hard for you and it's kind of hard for your brain to figure out where they are because the pain signals are so woven together. And that might explain why it's so difficult for patients to differentiate between bladder pain versus bowel pain versus pelvic floor pain. And again, I really hadn't seen this before. I think she did a fabulous job. So what are the things so here are the things that she says you should do to alleviate pain by targeting how your brain perceives pain. Number one, you get a kick out of this. Very first thing she says is swear. If you're in pain, for God's sake, say the F word or whatever you need to say. She says using foul language you can use foul language when pain is really intense. And that has to do with the low brain. It turns out that when you vocalize, that can modulate the low brain. So you have my permission to cuss, my friends. It's okay. If you're like me, you've been cussing a lot in the last 2 years. I've never said various words more in my life than I have in the last 2 years. So, of course, if it's against your faith or whatever, you don't have to do it. But actually, when you cuss and swear, you're actually targeting part of your low brain. Number two, start meditating. Okay, because that slow, deep breath, again, modulates the pain message at the low brain. Number three, deep breathing. Number four, focus on positivity, focusing on the bright side, savoring moments like a good book, a good smell, a hug, or laughter, stopping smelling the roses, positive thinking. That's all keeping your midbrain busy so that it cannot dwell on the pain processes. It's slowing everything down. Engaging in activities you're passionate about. I'm doing a Halloween party with my local Grange in a couple of days. Acts of kindness, laughing, watching a funny movie. These are all good things. And positive memory banking, going back over the happy times in your life, not just for the laughter, but looking at pictures and photos and talking about the good times creates a lot of positive emotions, which keeps that midbrain busy. Number five, start exercising, yoga or Pilates. In fact, I was at a new physical therapist on Monday, and he did not want me to do any more yoga. He said, "You're switching to Pilates." Don't quite understand why, but anyway. Number six, start interval training at the gym, which is a good reason why. When you're making your body work hard to coordinate functions such as heart rate, it gets too busy to process pain. Number seven, ask for help from your friends and your partners, yada, yada, yada. All right. So I'm telling you right now, I think this is an excellent book, and I would like to put it in all of our newly diagnosed kits. I think it really teaches you how your body processes pain, and with that knowledge, it will then teach you how you can interrupt some of that pain, especially the chronic pain. So you can get this book do not go on Amazon. On Amazon, it's $34 because Amazon, unfortunately, raised the price as Amazon does. If you go to whenithurts.com, you can get it for $19 from her. And I think that this would be a very, very good investment if you are struggling with pain control. All right. Whenithurts.com. Give it a shot. See what you think. It might really, really help. Okay. All right. So again, for those of you who just came in, we're having a little bit of a technological issue with Facebook. We are streaming. However, I am not seeing anybody's comments. And so this is what I'm going to do. We're taking a bathroom break, people. You've got 2 minutes to go use the restroom. I'm going to restart Facebook and see if I can get the comments working again. Okay. So hang out, talk to each other, and I'm going to try to restart on my end and see if I can fix this. Okay. All righty. Facebook, stick around. I will be back in a moment. I'm ending this video on Facebook right now, but we're going to try it again. YouTube, I think we're okay. Hopefully I won't have to restart you, but let me just give this a shot. I'm going to restart Chrome. Oh, I can't do that. I'll shut off YouTube. Darn it. Okay, let's try this a different way. Live IC support group meeting. Now taking your questions. Hopefully I won't have to reboot my computer. That would suck. All right, let's give it a shot. Hello, Facebook. I have just restarted the stream. We're going to see if we can fix this commenting error. So let's give people a couple of minutes to come on in. YouTube people, go take your break. Use the restroom if you have to. Go get a snack. We should be up and running again in a minute. All right, my friends on Facebook. Hello, I see a comment. Woohoo! Hello, Aaron. Hello, Aaron. Awesome. Hi, Debbie. Okay, hallelujah. We may have fixed the problem. Okay, so for Facebook, for those of you coming back in, could you please go ahead and test the commenting? We're just testing to make sure it works. Hello. Hey, Ileana. So nice to see you. Hi, Trisha. Ileana, since you're here, let me go ahead and get... Oh, wait. Crap. Your comments just disappeared. What? Oh, come on. Really? What? Holy moly! Oh, it's getting close to Halloween. We're just going to call this. Technology zombies. Okay, so my friends, I saw 4 comments and then they disappeared. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to reboot my computer and start it again. I'm going to start it on YouTube and I'm going to start it on Facebook. Give me 2 minutes to do it and that should fix it. If you saw all the work on that's open on my computer right now, I'm assuming that's the issue. So again, give me 2 more minutes and let me see if I can fix this once and for all. I apologize, but the gremlins are at work right now. All right, so I'm leaving all the live streams, but I'm coming back. I promise. I'm coming back, YouTube. I promise.